Bo, this will take Battle Arena to the next level.
It could truly be one of the biggest collabs of all time.
Every collector will want this.
I see your vision. I share your vision. It's all about legacy.
All right. Good morning, Bo Battle fans. Welcome to Boba Breakers for Breakfast. It's where your favorite Bo Jackson Battle Arena breakers serve up hot takes and fresh insights on all things Bo Battle Arena. In fact, Cursive has a breaking news announcement. I know we've got folks tuning in live this morning. Appreciate everybody who does every Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern. And you can catch us every week. We also have a second time during the week. We're going to be moving it from Sunday nights to sometime during the week. We'll let you know as soon as we do. But hey, I just want to let everybody know, jump in, share your thoughts. Give us your thoughts, your questions while we're recording live. Appreciate everybody who catches us recorded. And I want to welcome to the stage, we've got Mainly Breaks, or as Tex Hooper likes to say, is that we have Manly Breaks, but Tex Hooper's not here to say it. Hey, Seth. And then we also have hey, and we have Anthony from Cursive. You know him. He'll get to us with his breaking news in a second. And then also we have our regular. He's back. Is that Jacob Luke, Lake Country Cards. Hey, Jacob. And then, of course, for the first time, we have Kissa G. She's going to be joining us as well. So welcome, Kissa.
Hello. You'll see my dog in the back.
Nice. This is a pet-friendly show.
Good.
Oh, and I'll get myself on camera. But right now, let's go to Cursive for some breaking news.
Yeah, so super excited to announce that J Love, who's out in the DC area, had been mentioning that he had been talking to his LCS and that they were expected to receive the Griffey set on the 21st. So he was in Discord this morning talking to Jeff and said, hey, if my LCS gets Griffey on the 21st, are they allowed to sell it? And if they're allowed to sell it, are we allowed to break it? And the response was, if they have it and they put it for sale, and it is okay to go ahead and buy at that point. That also includes Targets. So Targets, they are going to have it by the 21st. Obviously, they would like for it to go off on Black Friday, but there is no date on the packaging as from what it sounded like. So it may show up on the Target shelves prior to Black Friday. So starting on the 21st, we might be out in the wild looking for a Griffey set. So I think that's pretty big. There are a lot of us going to Vegas. So for myself, I've already looked at what stores in Vegas sell Griffey. So it's going to be a race for us. It's going to be like was it the rat race? All the streamers in Vegas running around and seeing what we can get our hands on possibly. So that is super exciting. And yeah, I think a little sneak peek a little early would be fun.
Wow, that's amazing. Seth, are you already? I'm surprised you're not on the phone to the Jersey clan telling everybody like they have to move their plans up. Kiss, I don't know if you know this, but Seth from Mainly Breaks he covers the state of New Jersey, and he has family go to every single Target there, so nobody else has a chance.
Yeah. My next life, I'm going to be a Mainly. I say that all the time.
You already are Mainly.
And Anthony, I need to know what day you're going to Vegas so I can drive there a day early to hit those stores before you do.
Exactly.
Yeah, and so just so we know, the 21st is, of course, we're recording this live on Friday, November 14th. So a week from today would be the 21st. So, of course, at SCG Con Las Vegas, you have both Wonders of the First and Bo Jackson Battle Arena tournaments taking place at 4 o'clock local time. So you would expect to see a high number of Boba people in the Vegas area. So I agree with you, Cursive. Like that's going to be, I imagine Vegas is going to get cleaned out. Now, the big question is, if you weren't renting a car, are you going to rent a car now so you can get around to all those Targets?
Oh, of course. So me and Big U fly in about the same time. So we already have it scheduled that we are going to take Uber Black. I think I nominated myself to get one of those for us to the hotel. But we might make some stops on the way. So what happens?
Smart.
All right. Well, by the way, I want to thank Elevator said, nice update. So Cursive, appreciate you getting out there. Of course, folks, the hard part I don't want to scare people who are watching this because the community tends to congregate in something called Discord. I always like to point that out. We assume Discord is just omnipresent, but keep in mind that the majority of Americans not only are not on Discord, but haven't heard of Discord. So Discord is just a social media app. It's kind of where the community congregates. But for those watching us on YouTube and on X, just know that we love bringing you that information that takes place in Discord so you can know what's happening. That's why you got to tune in every Friday. All right. Well, one of the things we're going to talk about this week in a second, we're going to talk about the alpha set and what constitutes the alpha set originally. I remember talking to Jeff French about this, and I kept making a distinction between alpha and alpha update, and French kept kind of going back like they're the same. And it's interesting. Jeff is a collector through and through, and I'm a collector, but I'm not on his level. And I wonder if it's just a difference of I'm not a serious enough collector, but then it also begs the question is, if only the serious collectors think about it one way, but the general mass who is attracted to boba thinks it differently. But we'll get to that in a second. First, we got to talk about the hit that Kissa G hit last night. And actually, this is something, guys, we should do really coming into each week is maybe you guys bring your best hit. And then again, maybe we don't want to do it because if you didn't have a hit in the past week, then we're going to go to you and then you're going to be like, and people are going to, but we'll see. But Kissa, this is so fresh. Is like you had a big hit. Tell us about what you hit last night.
Oh, he's sitting next to me. You want to see it?
Yeah, of course. Here, I'll put you in the spotlight. Hold on. Wait.
See it very good.
Wow.
Yeah, I want to post the video because it was so wild. I thought maybe this was just a battle foil because I did my little peek to the side like I normally do, and I thought it was just a battle foil. But
Yeah, not just a battle foil.
Massive, yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's a foil, but yeah, I couldn't believe it. And then of course I noticed the number at the bottom. I was like 7. We've got a huge hit here.
Wow.
And then we peeped the 195 power. Kind of unreal. The crazy part, my husband and I, Del Gamos, we found these packs in the wild. They were, I call it, it's hard for me to say hobby jumbo. I say jumby hobbo. We found packs in the wild at a store in Salt Lake City by our house. And we decided to do a car rip. We ripped 10 of the packs that we found, and we only got 20 of them. So we picked the wrong 10. I'm happy that I was able to pull it on my break. Pretty exciting.
It's a big one.
And is that your first one of one that you picked?
Yes.
That you ripped? Sorry.
Mm-hmm. Biggest card I've ever pulled. Probably the biggest one I will ever pull.
Wow. And no, you're going to hit that bow. And now, how much did you pay per pack, and how long ago did you purchase those?
I got them 3 days ago.
Yep.
And I paid $15 per pack.
Wow.
My store doesn't know what they have. Yeah, they didn't know what they had. So I said, I'll take all that you have. And he said, people here don't know much about boba. They're a wonders crowd, so you can have them all.
Nice.
Well, Brian Timpson and Frenchie are excited that at least they're wonders people. But you paid $300 for 20 packs. So you had. So if we figure this out, that's what 40% of a jumbo, and so you ended up paying so if we multiply that, so you're looking at $600, and so you were paying like an $800 jumbo price for alpha. That's
wow.
insane.
I know, and to have it in there, it's pretty wild.
That's like a week 1 jumbo price. I think I was paying more than that 3 days.
Not
after.
even.
Right.
And they really don't know what they have because they had blaster packs at 15. So they had them both listed for the same price.
Oh.
So, yeah.
Did you clean them out of the blast? Did you take everything boba from them?
Yeah, everything. And what's crazy, I call like once a week, and every week it's like, oh, we only have 10 packs of this. So I feel like they've just slowly put them out. So I'm just going to keep calling. Maybe we'll get another one. Yeah.
And these people have never heard of the internet, so they don't know what they have, right?
They don't know what they have. No.
Okay.
It's crazy.
Wait, what's that new invention you're talking about? The internet? I haven't heard.
Yeah.
Now we do have to let you know, Kissa, I appreciate you coming on the show. I appreciate you sharing that story because that's what people want to hear. But make no mistake about it. You mentioned, and I was going to say, where are you located? You mentioned Salt Lake. So I'm sorry, Kissa.
I shouldn't say that.
Yeah, is that now, you will not, people will be calling that store. Multiple people will call that store every day. And it doesn't matter which one. They're going to call every store in Salt Lake City now for weeks.
No. Don't do it, guys. Don't hit my honey hole.
It's going to happen. It happened to me Just enjoy it. It's local to you, so it's not too far of a drive. Hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll probably be there to meet you if you guys try to get it. I'll remember your face.
All right. So getting back to our story. So let's talk about Tech Super and I were talking about this. By the way, a shout out to Tech Super. He was not able to make it today. So we missed Tex. Hopefully he'll come on. And actually a little bit of housekeeping I do want to just share is that Soothing, who appears on the Sunday night show, he just wanted to mention that as you all know, there is a BOBA online league. So if you want to play Bo Jackson Battle Arena and you can't find anybody locally, there's actually an online league. And we'll put a link in this description. If you're watching this live, it's not in there now. But if you come back during the recording, we'll make sure that gets added to the description. But there's an online league where you can play against other people in Bo Jackson Battle Arena. And Soothing wanted me to let you know that the league championship is going to be streamed live 7 o'clock Eastern on Saturday on YouTube. So I will get the link from Soothing where on YouTube it's going to be. We'll see if they already have the link set up, but I'll at least get you the channel link so you can go and catch that championship. So for folks who just collect boba and you kind of want to see like what's the game like that's played, this is a great opportunity to watch a championship being played among the people who just like to get together with their collections and play online. So a shout out there. All right, turning back to the subject matter. I'm glad that Tex Hooper's not here because Tex will ignore the title of the show and then just talk about what he wants, which also makes him a great host. But so we actually can follow through and talk about it. Because I remember having this conversation with Frenchie, as I said before, is that I delineated between alpha and alpha update. I just don't consider, there's the alpha, and I just consider update second. Now, update prices have gone faster than alpha, because I'm shocked, like on the jumbo prices, it took us months to get where update went on the jumbo prices in just weeks, but then there's the question of long term. So here's my question to you guys is like, here are the sets we have. So we have alpha update, we've got blast, but we also have the LA Dodgers 2024, the LA champion, not Dodgers, LA champion 2024 box. We've got the Eagles Super Bowl box. We've got the Thunder NBA championship box, and we have the Sandstorm college edition box. And then you can also talk about the fact, well, no, I guess it's not like it's a little bit weird, right? Because if you start getting into the trainers, they don't say card on them, right? They have different names. So I guess you could also get into those as well. So here's my question to you guys is, let's talk about today, not 10 years from now. We'll talk about that. But today, what do you guys consider the alpha set?
The first set. But it's kind of BS, and here's why. So I was thinking about this before, and here's my analogy. When I was a kid, I was a sophomore, I went to Green Day, and Dookie had just come out, so they didn't quite blow up yet. And for a while, I just thought I was cool because I knew them before they were huge. So that's what it's kind of like. So the first update we knew before it really it's not even huge yet, but it's this weird thing where I want to feel cool, but it really, who cares, right? So it's all actually better for us because if we're building the deck and we can use update and alpha, it's just way easier. Now the other one, Sandstorm and the championship boxes, I mean, that's a good question. I don't know where they fit in that conversation, but I remember Sandstorm being released kind of without much fanfare. It kind of came and went. Maybe I wasn't paying attention quite as much during that time, but yeah, anyway, I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on that.
Yeah. So for me, alpha, like Seth said, I think he hit it, the nail on the head there, that for us that got into it last Black Friday, there was definitely that feeling that, man, like we're into this so early, like we're the pioneers or we're the OGs or whatever you want to call it. Like in my decks, I try to have as much alpha as possible in comparison to update. And I definitely think that, everything printed up until now is definitely update, or is definitely alpha, excuse me. But you did mention the OKC boxes. OKC sold prior, but it's not going to be printed until after Griffey comes out. So is that technically
Yeah,
considered not alpha because it printed or got sold after? So that's interesting to see. But for me, I mean, the Dodgers set, Eagles one, all those cards, they're going to hold a special place in our hearts for the people who are here now, for sure.
Yeah.
Now,
Take-
one thing, yeah, one thing I think that we should distinguish, honestly, I mean, you kind of see this in other sets too, is I think there's a difference between an alpha set and the alpha era, honestly. Like, in my opinion, I think the alpha set, long run, is going to just be alpha update blast. I think alpha era cards is going to be everything up until Griffey. So I think there's a big distinction between the two of them, because I think as a set, it kind of all goes together with just those nice 3 tied up in a bowstring. And then I think the others just kind of fall into that weird category. If they came out in alpha, so they're the same era, but not the same. You know what I mean?
Jacob, where do we fit in the N24 national set?
Yeah, that's the real alpha.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I don't mean to put you on the spot. It was a genuine question for your thoughts on it.
No, yeah. I mean, I got one of the cards here, and it says card on the bottom, so I would assume that they're.
Yeah,
I would assume that they're right there with them. Yeah. Let's say I got one of the promos right here, and it says card, so I would assume that's just thrown in with alpha, just with a stamp on it. I mean, they're called secret starters, so no, it's the Matata. I have yet to pull Giannis out of those silver packs.
Apparently, if you don't have a starter next to you, like, are you really into Boba? Right? Like,
mine's behind me.
Starter in hand's reach.
I gotta grab mine now.
But yes, they do say card on them.
Can't reach it.
It's an easy way to have some Bojax cards for sure.
I can't reach it.
Well, so let me ask you a question, because when Jacob was talking about the error and talking about alpha, update, and blast, is there any difference when you look at a non-featured super, which of course is not an auto, but we talk about the one of ones, and let's not talk about Midas. So let's talk about maybe kind of some of those that aren't superstars but middle tier. Is there a difference in floor price, right? Because that's one way to recognize popularity. Is there a difference in floor price between alpha and alpha update for non-featured supers?
For supers, I don't think so. For some of the other treatments, there definitely is. Obviously, you have your big names in alpha, like you have your CCs and your showtimes, and any of those cards are going, $100 plus right now. But even your bionics and your grins, those predominantly go for twice as much as anything else that's in update right now.
You're saying the super for bionic goes for twice as much as the lowest super in update? No,
not the supers, but any other treatment. So if it's a rad or a blizzard or something like that.
Okay,
so the supers on the high end, I think they're pretty leveled. But once you get in the lower end cards, are
so you're saying
more attainable.
So a bionic rad goes for more than I'm trying to think. So they're all mixed up in my head to keep the sets
right. Like an exterminator rad. Yes, 100%.
Okay.
Oh, easily, yeah.
And
that's what I've seen too on single shows.
And that's Jacob, because it's alpha versus alpha. I mean, because obviously bionic. I mean, like well, first of all, he's a cheater. Let's acknowledge that. And then secondly, is that he
Yankees fan in the house.
Just a fairness fan.
Also true.
Is that but he's nobody to write home about, and so he was on a promising trajectory. I understand why he was a home team hero, but he just, ever since he got traded over to Minnesota, then back to Houston, he's kind of been kind of middle of the road. So you're saying, Jacob, that's all because he's alpha. That's the reason why he's traded. Okay.
Oh, yeah, easily. I mean, I've seen for some reason the last 3 weeks, whenever I do a single show, I'll throw up an update silver, and it won't go. No one will take it. And then I'll throw out an alpha silver and it'll go for $20. And I'm like, huh, interesting. So I don't know. I think it's just something about the novelty of, or the novelty, I guess, of the alpha set right now, because so many people are getting into it and they just want to have a couple of alpha cards. I mean, alpha battle foils, who knows where those are going to be in a couple of months when people still are breaking update. And then once people stop breaking update, maybe those parallels will all go right up to where alpha is.
Well, that's a great segue so 10 years from now, they've had, all these sets that they've released. And so when you guys do a show in 10 years, because you'll all still be there, is that what will be the difference between Bionic and Exterminator? Will there continue to be a difference between those two?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think when we start breaking Griffey, you probably have to wait a good month or so past Griffey's release for that kind of bubble to burst a little bit. And then when we start doing single shows a month or two into Griffey, and you start bringing out what we now consider the entirety of Alpha, all those cards, whether it's an Exterminator or, from Update, the new influx of people are going to be like, oh, I want one of those cards. I haven't seen one of those cards. I wasn't around for that card.
Yeah.
I think they'll all almost be treated like everybody's rookie card for all of Alpha and Update.
Yeah, first appearance.
Yeah, first ones.
Yeah, that's a good point, and we haven't seen as many Alpha cards available still. Like, just go on eBay or any of your single shows, it's mostly Update. And from what I noticed too, the prices have been going up steadily for everything, but in particular for what I just called Alpha, the first release from last November, have gone up quickly from what I've seen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jacob, did you want to add to that?
I know. I'm just, I don't know. Alpha is always sick for me. I love buying and selling Alpha. So we definitely got in off the ground floor with a lot of those singles. So I'm just excited to see where it goes. Another thing too, though, is I kind of look at, the Pokemon market with that first set, and you look at it and it's like, your Charizards and whatever, those are nuclear cards. Those are giant, big, huge, whatever. And I think that there's going to be a little bit of that with Griffey and, or not Griffey, Alpha and Alpha Update. But then, you also have those base foils that are $5 cards. And so I think that we're probably going to see a little bit more of a disparity in some of the cards as the years go on. Like, Victory, CC, those, more middle of the road, bigger names, those I think are going to go up for sure. But then I think Bionic and everything might actually go down just because, people really don't care. And there's been so many cards since then, because I think a lot of it right now is people are buying the cards they haven't seen because there's not a lot of cards. But I think once there's lots more cards added, people are going to start looking specifically.
You did
for
not
stuff.
just do that.
Oh my gosh.
That's not nice.
That's it. I have never seen that card.
Oh, me either.
Slap me. My heart. I'm sweating.
So that's obviously a pretty good flex. But to kind of comment on that, right? So we have Update, and Update introduced mixtapes, Fire Tracks, and Miami Ices that were not in the original Alpha release.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody pranked Big U the other day and was like, "Hey, do you have any Alpha mixtapes?" And for a second there, he's like, "Let me look." And it's one of those things to where, like, there's that addition. But for me, the biggest thing that's going to be a huge distinction is Rads. So we know Rads has that Saved by the Bell look. It has kind of that yellow with the certain colors. And for Griffey, that color scheme is changing. That is a huge change in something that is a loved treatment with the Rads. I think people love the Rads. Personally, in my house, that's number one in what we go for. But them changing, the addition of the Grandma's Linoleum, the red version, and different things like that, those are going to be some clear distinctions. Like, you're going to know, like, hey, just within a split second of looking at a card, like, oh, that's not, I know what set that is. That's not Alpha. This is that. And so those things, I love that the team is doing that. Just make those clear distinctions.
Yeah, and let's talk about Frenchie's a disruptor. He's an innovator, and I agree with you. Like, when you change parallel, like, right, the whole thing with Topps is like it's the same parallel, it's just a different year, and it's just like one thing I don't like about Topps is like cards get mixed up a little bit. I'm like, where the heck did I pull this from? What of their 26 specialties now is this from? And it just making that delineation. And I think it's important to point out right now for folks who don't know is that if you're not subscribed to Bazooka Vault on YouTube, you need to be. You saw Bubblegum King just this morning in the community saying that here's the schedule for revealing information about Griffey. So this Sunday, about 48 hours from when we're recording this, they're going to talk about what's new in the 2026 edition, kind of what Cursive was talking about. We saw with Alpha Update, they said, hey, we've got mixtapes, we've got this, we've got that. So I'm expecting to see that on Sunday. Then on Monday, November 17th, the full base hero checklist will be revealed. So, of course, we've seen the 55 autos, about 55 signers. That's on the Boba official site. And then on Tuesday, November 18th, the full featured and highlighted hero checklist, which I don't think with the highlighted, you guys tend to stay you're more plugged in than I am, but I don't think we've heard who the highlighted heroes are, right, guys?
Nope.
Okay. And
Rumors.
Yes, rumors.
Go on, Jacob.
I've heard not any specific rumors, but I've heard like there might be a Kobe thrown in there. There might be some other etc. thrown in there. So I mean, nothing in concrete.
Wow. All right.
Wow,
But
well, you heard it here first.
Fingers
Right,
crossed.
yeah.
If that's true.
I'm taking
Yeah.
that as gospel, Jacob.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tell
Right.
everybody know.
and of course, Colby's still the second best basketball player to Jacob's. To who, Jacob?
Here we go.
Giannis.
It's okay. And then the final.
Of
And then
course.
I mean,
final
he's number one, but I am wearing a Jordan shirt today, so
Yeah.
Jordan's good.
He's all right.
Wait, what's that say on your shirt, Cursive? Because I might have to put. What's it say on the?
behind it, it's a band. It's Bane.
Hold on, let me see. No, behind. What's it say behind Jordan?
Bane.
Bane.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's like, all right, I got you. I'm going to keep your cursive the right way, and we'll keep Bane backwards. And then the final one, just on Bazooka Vault, just to let you know, is on Wednesday, November 19th. You'll have to wait and see for this one. What do you think it could be, guys? If they're going to do Sunday, what's new in the 26th edition, Monday, the full base hero checklist, Tuesday, the full featured highlight list, and then Wednesday, something else, they break on whatnot. So what is Bazooka Vault going to reveal on Wednesday? Like, of everything I just told you guys, what's left to tell us?
What if they show us the cards?
Right.
Like,
What if there's text checks?
Yeah, but what if they have a box?
What if my guess would be
Go ahead, Jacob. sorry.
Oh, the
that'd
actual
be
box.
sick. I think my guess is the breakdown of what parallels are in what, and maybe even like hit rates too. That would be something I'd be interested.
I mean,
in.
it's 100% a rip,
Like
right?
how often are those Coliseum cards getting hit?
What was that, Anthony?
It's got to be a rip. They got to be
Maybe.
ripping stuff.
Yeah,
Jeff went
so.
on last night and was like, "I ripped a box, a sealed box.
yeah.
The sealed boxes are there, guys.
Yeah.
Being shipped out. They better be in Vegas."
And it's worth noting that Jeff ripped the MSRP $85 double mega box that he was saying that, and he said he's like, ripping this is like the value in this. And I think that's one of the things we've talked about before that's ripping this product versus other product is that, you guys talked about, or Jacob, you talked about ripping or doing a single show with silver battle foils. And whether that's, the update or a hot sale on single shows right now or not, regardless, when you're ripping a pack and you get a silver battle foil, it's always great to get that silver battle foil instead of I shouldn't say instead of a fire battle foil or an ice battle foil. So that's the kind of the difference between tops, right? You have it. So like Frenchie, to talk about this, I'm still like, we talked about this, and the hobby box this time around is that, this is what gets so hard about Jeff, is that Jeff's a collector and he believes the original set is, because in collecting theory, the first set is always the most valuable because people want to go back and get that. But what's so hard, and just, the Wonders people don't like it because I talk about Boba all the time in Wonders. I don't talk about Wonders too much in Boba, but I'm going to do it. So the Wonders are the first. They're about to release their second set. This is a TCG game from Jeff, and he's doing it with the former lead game designer from Magic. And you combine Jeff's collectability with his gaming knowledge, and they're creating an amazing game. I'm more of a collector than a player, but the first set's already out there. The second set, Jeff took it up a notch, and he's having on-card autos, which has never been done in the TCG world, kind of like he does with Boba. He's going to have Draco Malfoy, Tom Felton, who's going to be a signer, Ben Affleck is going to be on-card autos. But so my whole thing is, I'm like, what will be the more valuable set? And like, I understand it's the original one, but will it be the first set they had with autos? Because if they do autos every set, will people go back and like, I want the first set of autos. I don't care about the ones that wasn't. So when it comes to, the Boba, it's interesting is that, is he kind of breaking the mold? Because Griffey's going to be the first non-Bo featured hero, right? Like he's the first guy to be like, so will he and Griffey's no slouch. So, if they do enough changes to these, right? It's not like, that's the problem with Topps. It's the same product every year. They just tweak it a little bit. And that's why you should want the original. But is the Griffey set so different that it's going to be just as coveted? And then you got to keep in mind, for folks who are watching this, Frenchie believes in, he said something the other day, and I think it might have been in Wonders, but it's his thesis. If demand is here, he's always going to put out here. He does not want to, he does everything he can to fight the flippers who just extort the average customer, but he also wants to create value in what you hold. That's very important. The people who gets it, he wants there to be pressure on it so you have value in what you collect, but he doesn't want to feed into those flippers. So the question, guys, is like with Griffey is there a chance that Griffey, they make so many changes, it's just as valuable as the Alpha when we look back in 10 years?
I think the potential is absolutely there. So what, you mentioned Jeff, and he's always moving forward and progressing and changing for the better. So, and as that happens, there's going to be new offerings that people really connect with. I'm super excited for the new rad color. I'm super excited for the great gray mouse linoleum. And until I see them, I don't know really how to, I can't say definitively, but the potential certainly is there. And the name like Griffey in baseball, everyone knows Bo Jackson too, but it carries so much weight from collectors.
Yeah, I would agree. Right now, if you were to go to high school, junior high, more kids probably know Griffey than they know Bo Jackson. And that hurts my heart, being a massive Bo fan. But I think you see more Griffey out right now. It's kind of a retro thing. And I think it's just timed right. Jeff is amazing with timing. So I think Griffey will be bigger than Alpha. Possibly, I don't know. It's hard. Griffey's going to be so good. We talked about on another show, like Chauncey Billups being in this set is going to be such an this mystique around with everything that's going on with him right now, and just it's going to be cool.
And if you base it off of excitement and what everybody's looking for, I feel like Griffey feels bigger right now than Alpha. I don't know if that will carry, but how exciting that your next product that you bring out feels almost bigger than what everybody is so excited about already. It's just feels pretty big.
Jacob, you were agreeing with her.
Yeah, I think almost with any TCG, sports, non-sports, any kind of product, I think those first 3 sets honestly kind of all carry similar value long term. I mean, you looking at like Pokemon and Magic, some of those first 3 to 5 sets still have cards that are in there that are, you never see, you never sell, you never any of those kind of things. And so I think for at least the next probably year, 2 years, any of these cards are going to be hold on for long term. Because if we see the success of Boba in 10, 20 years, I think that they'll all be right around the same kind of value.
Well, and by the way, I want to give a shout out to the audience. There's like a lot of great comments going on there. I haven't been acknowledging most of them because it appears to just be the Mainly fan club. So please save that for his Whatnot stream. I don't need to hear all about Seth and his greatness. It's like that's not what the show.
Always saying that.
But I do want to point out to your point, Jacob, is Quick was saying it's hard to even find base foils for Alpha, and you'll see the same thing with the other sets. The side note about that, when Yo-Yo was ripping his big league chew boxes at National, he had a giant trash receptacle next to the table. He's just opening those packs and everything that's like paper, and I think he might have even done like Fire and Ice Battle Foil, just going into the trash. And all I think about is Mickey Mantle and dumping his cards in the Hudson. And why they're so valuable. I just think about Jeff has made it clear it's a very small print run. And I think about how many people don't treat the paper or the battle foils for the Ice and Fire battle foils for the non-featured heroes as just kind of we saw it. Everybody's like, hey, I have extra sets. I'd be glad to donate them. I'd donate them. And I wonder how much people are actually keeping. And if this set continues to grow at this rate, those will be extremely limited. To have a complete paper set will be very valuable in the future. I'd love to know his numbers about that. Now, we talked about and by the way, Christopher, I want to thank you for calling it rad. I give Rhodey a hard time because he refers to it as 80s rad. And I always say, as opposed to what other rad, right? Until we get a 70s rad, call it rad, dude. You don't have to say 80s rad every time. All right. The LA Champion boxes is that you guys were talking about the demand, and on Radish Break Room this past Wednesday, I was asking Tex Hooper, Steel City was asking, hey, I want to pick up a box. When do you think the best time is? And it's funny because Gen Con and Tex Hooper and I disagreed. In the past, when it came to projects with Frenchie, everybody's all hyped up on FOMO, and they, I want to buy it right now. And that's the worst time to do it. They get delivered in 14 weeks. So the thinking is you do it in 7 weeks when people have forgotten about it before it's delivered and people are ripping it and getting excited again. But I was saying to them, that model doesn't hold true anymore for 2 reasons. One is Eric from the team released in the community that they have a mailing list of 100,000 people. Once Griffey gets out there, is it going to be 200,000 people? So whereas you're fighting 100,000 other people to get the very limited, there are 250 kanji LA champion boxes and 999 battle foil boxes. You're trying to beat 100,000 other people for that. When Griffey comes out, are you trying to beat 200,000? And the other thing is those people willing to sell, like as soon as they got the code and they had their allocation, the people willing to sell, they're selling now. Like, why would somebody who's not going to wait 14 weeks be like, you know what? I really wanted it and I didn't want to sell when people were offering me money, like when I first got it. But 7 weeks later, and I have this money invested for 7 weeks, now I'll decide to sell. They'll be the person who has to pay a bill and they got to do that. But I don't think waiting, if you want an LA champion box, again, like I don't cursive, like you, I know you were in the market for this. Is like, what's your current offer, cursive, on an LA champion box for both the battle foil and the kanji if somebody's willing to sell to you?
So I don't know if anyone else saw it, but in the Facebook group, there was someone offering $100 for a kanji code and like $40 for a regular code. Just to pass the code if you had an extra one, right? So we missed out on the website sale, but we're lucky enough to where I got a code text to me for the kanji box. So I am good. I mean, I may keep that sealed, so I may be interested in buying another one. But we had talked about it, Scott, that I'm at least right now, present day, double of what the cost was, right? So if it's $300 for the regular box, like I'm at $600 already, and I think that goes higher.
Well, and it's just so it's $225 for the battle foil box and $385 for the kanji.
Right. So $225. We're talking about $450. $450 for the regular box, and I think that's fair. I mean, they changed it up a little bit where the packs are now, instead of 3 cards, to 10 cards. That's massive.
Yeah.
The hot dogs in these sets at minimum were $40. That probably goes up. I think the team with the new art that they're showing off, even the art that they showed for the OKC boxes. I mean, those hot dogs were amazing looking. So I'm excited to see what they do for the Dodger set. Obviously, being a Dodger fan, so yeah, it's
yeah, and congratulations to your guy getting his repeat MVP. First time in history, the NL and AL MVPs have repeated the following year, both Shohei Ohtani and Aaron Judge, or I should say Showtime and Gavler repeating as MVPs.
Right.
But so Jacob, Seth, and Kissa, is that, how are you guys, like, do you have any active offers out there? If somebody's willing to sell you their allocation, would you be willing to offer them well, you'd have to offer a premium. Are you offering it? What's your premium right now?
As of right now, no. My dad also did get lucky enough to get one non-alt art box, so I'm just waiting to have that come in. We can rip that. So that's my stake in it.
And are you talking Griffey or the LA box?
Just the LA boxes, because
box.
Yeah, and like Jacob, like from Lake Country Cards, there's not an outstanding offer to, say $100 above, what you bought it for.
Yeah, I was able to get my.
Not yet.
Sorry.
No, you're right.
What's that, Kissa?
Oh, I was just gonna say I was able to get my hands on one, and I don't know what I'm gonna do with it.
Now, what did you get?
I don't know.
The battle foil or the?
Yeah, I wanted kanji, but I watched everybody, and I had heard on the last one, if you tried to put one of each in your box, by the time you checked out, you just couldn't get it. So I went for the first one I could get, and I was lucky enough to get it. So I don't know what I'm gonna do with it yet.
That's great, because it's. I'm glad that you were able to do that. I know some people waited. Of course, there was a delay for the kanji to load on the page, and so unfortunately, some people who had that delay, they lost the battle foil version that they had. So. Yeah, I'm glad you were able to get it. Seth, are you, and I know for you guys, like, right, as breakers, it's very hard for you guys to spend the excess now because, of course, product's not getting delivered for 14 weeks. So for you guys to tie up capital is like, that's very hard because you can't do anything with the product now for several months. But Seth, did your family get it? Do you have offers out there for the LA champion boxes?
No, I don't, and I'm not going to one up Cursive's offer right now out there. I probably won't actually offer just because I did get a box. I got the regular battle foil, and I like to spread the love for the same reason why when we had the opportunity to buy the Ken Griffey bundles, I knew I would probably get some product through Geeks or whatever. So I actually didn't buy any of the bundles because I wanted them to go to people who would just enjoy opening them. Yeah, I'm trying not to be greedy. I'm a part-time guy here. But Kiss, I will say, rip it.
Yes.
I think you might,
Rip
yeah.
it.
Yes. Yes.
It's
Or
only
maybe sell
one
packs
really,
on the stream or something. I don't know.
it's not, you're only get one pack really to rip because it's going to be, if it's the way it's always been, you're going to have your starter decks and the one pack of hits. So you really couldn't, there it is. And it's hard to actually do a break with it. Those are beautiful.
Sorry, Seth. Keep talking.
No, I
those
have mine.
sealed?
Slappy, I know you are a sealed collector. I've seen some photos from time to time. So I appreciate your sealed product collection.
The kanji will have 2 packs.
Oh, 2 packs. Okay, good.
Kanji will have 2 packs.
So I misspoke there. But not
You
many
wanna know-
packs.
I take sealed to a new level. This is, I believe, is my blast box in here. Has not even been opened from the cardboard yet.
Sealed and sealed and sealed. Slappy, for your earlier question,
Wow.
the price, here's someone actually sending me a text the other day and was like, hey, see this card. Do you think this is a good price? And my response was, if you can afford it and it's for your PC and you're going to enjoy it, it doesn't matter. Just buy it now because in a month or two, it's just not going to be available. So if it doesn't put you in trouble financially, just buy it and have fun with it.
I think that's what's hard, Lungta, because I've seen that both in Wonders and Boba, is where people sometimes will put quantity in a trade for quality. And what's really hard about that is I'm not open to those type of trades because what's hard is there's certain cards, both in Boba and Wonders, that are going to go into hands and they're never going to, leave those hands again. For instance, the Mythic Formless Foil or the Mythic OCMs and Wonders of the First, there's only 10 of them. Obviously, you can find all the comparisons like when, I have my Theismann, super auto. And I'm not going to let it go because I remember thinking about it when Alpha first released and people were getting these hits, right? There were so many great offers and you could do that and you could pay off, everything that you spent on Alpha and then you have some for the update. But as soon as I ripped it, first of all, I love the card, but I'm like, why do I do this? If it's not to get a card like this, I can't go out and buy this card on eBay. I ripped it in a pack, and that's the whole point of this. So I'm just like, this is why I do this. I do want to point out a couple of comments that are out there. Is that Bo was saying, do you think Griffey will be in Vegas? I know Cursive's going to be there 100%. I don't think Griffey will be there. The focus of this is going to be on Wonders of the First. This is their World Championship. So Boba is going to be there with a $10,000 seal tournament, but that's no different than what it was in Baltimore. So for Las Vegas Boba, I don't want to take away how special it is, but it's just similar to the other Star City game conventions that are going on. So I don't think they'd want to take away from the Wonders. Cursive, do you have a different opinion?
No, I would agree with that. But the news that we saw this morning with possibly being able to purchase Griffey on the 21st, I guarantee you Griffey will be there. It may not be from the company, but someone's going to find a way to find a box somewhere out in the wild on the 22nd at minimum, right?
Oh, wait a second. I thought he meant Ken Griffey Jr. himself.
Oh
No. I think you're probably more in line with what Bo's thinking about. I'm so used to Frenchie, and I mean, hey, we played it at National, and I had Hall of Famer Carlton Fisk, personal correspondence. Carlton Fisk.
You mean your bestie?
Just
My
the flex
bestie.
is all show.
And pal.
Walk us out. So you're used to Jeff French, right? We had Chauncey, we had Carlton Fisk, we had all Dennis Eckersley, we had all these so when somebody says, do you think Ken Griffey's going to be in Vegas? With Jeff French, why wouldn't he be there? But to your product is I think they will. I think they'll have the product. I think that'll be the sealed product that we play with, Cursive.
Oh, I hope so.
Oh boy. I bought in, so I'm really excited that you just said that.
So
Nice.
so Scott was at the National or the SCG in Baltimore, and our table was borderline obnoxious compared to the rest of the tables because of our excitement. If they do sealed, and it is Griffey, and the fact that it's going to be, I think, a dozen or more streamer breakers, Chris is going to be there. I will be there. The amount of obnoxiousness that the other TCGs are gonna look at us like, it's going to be so much fun. It is going to be so much fun. I think the excitement level is going to be through the roof. It's going to be such a great group of people. Super excited, and I think we're all just gonna. It's going to be like kids opening presents, for Christmas. It's going to be super cool.
And to have everybody's excitement matched is going to be that much more exciting. If you're the only one that's that excited in the room, it's not as fun. But if it's all matched, it's going to be unreal.
Well, and I think Jessica shares your thoughts. Jessica saying Griffey is going to bring in a whole new wave of Boba players and collectors. Millennials go crazy for anything nostalgic, like Cursive referenced. Rads remind me of Saved by the Bell, and I was all in. So Kissa and Cursive, to your point where you're talking about the Griffey and the impact and the influx of additional people that are going to be coming in. All right. And so and by the way, Kissa, I will say you weren't here on the last show, but we talked about the LA Champion boxes. And I think unless you guys found a new way, all the breakers pretty much said not a great breaking product. So this is more for PC, but what, Jacob, you're laughing. Is like, do you agree or you don't agree?
Oh, I would totally agree. I think that all of those special editions are just to get ripped or to get sold. I don't think there's anything break-in wise, unless you toss them into a chaser.
Yeah, I was thinking selling just the pack or something, not as a break, just sharing the love in one whole thing.
Yeah, or just wait for your Salt Lake City store to get packs.
Stop saying it.
It's the internet. It's forever. He's
saying Baltimore wrong. He said Baltimore.
Oh, that's how you say Baltimore.
That's how you say Baltimore.
So I did want to mention real quick, because Scott, you had thrown it out there about the MVPs in baseball being a repeat for the first time. We talked about Boba being such a small print run, but that allows for the set to also be very curated by Jeff and the athletes that he picks to be so special in the way that the awards for the MLB came out yesterday. And if you guys saw the first team, there's 9 players on the first team, and 6 of those players are already in Boba, in Alpha. And that is amazing that they were able to hand select the players, but to say like, hey, this season's coming up. We already have these top players in here, and they're staying top players. Like, there's not a bad athlete in here. I mean, obviously, Scott might not like Bionic as much, or maybe some bias around some other players. But man, this set is filled with amazing players. There's not a bad card, not a bad athlete. It's just, I always say that I don't know any other product that you can rip, and at minimum, you're getting your value back immediately.
That brings up a good point. I mean, in terms of the sealed, is that it's obviously this is subjective, how great all the signers are. But looking at, I mean, we've gone through it on the shows a couple times. You can head to bowbattlearena.com. You'll see the slider going across the top. When you see the Ken Griffey, just click on Learn More. Takes you to the Griffey page. It talks about the 50, 55 signers that they have in the set. And when you look at those signers, is that I think if you were to poll the community and say, here are the 50 for Griffey, and here are the original 32, 33 from Alpha, what gets you more excited? And I think it'd be hard not to say, like, it was a great set, the Alpha, don't get me wrong, but the Griffey just is so much more. So, right, again, looking back, and so we didn't do the 10 years. Let's go 10 years from now. 10 years from now, I mean, if you just find Boba, are you going to say, like, yeah, I'd rather, go ahead and get a, Bionic Super because that's the Alpha? Or you're looking at that set list. Like, if there's a sealed jumbo or if there's a sealed hobby that you can buy 10 years from now, are you going to buy the Griffey or are you going to buy the Alpha?
Well, in 10 years, I tell you what, you're going to be happy that you have all those boxes sealed, Slappy. That's for sure. I think that's probably individual, whichever, I guess, player or checklist you're connecting with. But you're right. Like, the game has been upped big time for Griffey. And I'd be surprised if people looking back, other than pure collectors that recognize the relevance of the first set, the names are clearly bigger. And that's not objective.
They will continue to be bigger. And then the reality that the team was so brilliant in thinking longevity that the base players, it took me a long time to realize all base players were masked until really they announced the unmasking, right? of players
Right.
that then are going to be back in the set as someone who signs. Like, man, like how brilliant is that? And then it just allows for some of the base players to come back into the set. And so again, they're not an alpha anymore, but they're an alpha athlete. And that is something that can just be recycled over and over through set and set.
And then it makes their card even more collectible in the update. Because then you want to get, if they're unmasked in the next, you want their one from update and from Griffey. It's really genius.
I mean, one thing that I don't think we've talked about yet is the Alpha Trilogy play style at the National. Because I honestly think if Alpha Trilogy blows up, if it keeps having big prizes attached to it, I do think that the Alpha sealed hobby will be more because people are chasing those Alpha Trilogy cards.
Mm.
I mean,
Yeah, and
it really depends on where it all goes.
There may already be a rat race to make as many alpha decks as possible right now.
Are you in that race?
Yeah, there are plenty of people that have, I would say, half a dozen decks already built, and I don't think they're going anywhere. The bonus plays are through the roof right now, and I don't think if you really want to be competitive in those Alpha Trilogy, those plays are already in the 4-digit, value, and they're not coming down.
Yeah, there was one play over $1,000 that's been selling recently. And for folks who are tuning in and want to know what we're talking about, so of course, Bo Jackson Battle Arena, what really is a sports card collectible is that Jeff French, he created this game when he was 12 years old. He took his sports cards, he put power numbers on the corner, and then he played with his friends. Fast forward to just a few years ago, he was in a meeting with Bo Jackson, and they had one conversation, then another, and he shared the idea with Bo, and Bo was all in and loved the idea. They got rolling together. And so one of the things is that you can play, there's actually 3 forms of the game that you play with your Bo Jackson collection. You can either just play war. You can play where you can substitute. So you have seven cards that you battle against the other person. And then there's a substitution mode where you have a bench and then you can substitute in. And then there's the final mode, the most advanced, which has plays that you can play. Now at the National Card Show, which is happening in Chicago the next 2 years and happened at Chicago this last year, they had a $100,000 tournament. And the Apex Madness was for folks who were playing. It's a team of 4 to 6 people, and only 4 would go against another 4. I faced Cursive twice. On the last one, he went baller and just said, like, let's flip him off our deck. Let's not put it there. We'll just go this way. We're not going to set anything up. And we did it. And he crushed me. But that was just war. And the Bo Jackson Battle Arena team had a very complex way of figuring out like where the 100,000 was going to go, but it was split between this team format and then also the individual format. And the individual format played with plays. So they split the 100,000. Now next year, that prize pool is going up to 150,000. And that tournament is it's named in a community member who passed away, Alpha Trilogy, but that is going to go up to 150,000. So what Jacob and Cursive were talking about just now is that those cards are limited. So if you want to play in these tournaments, these are the only cards you can use for this particular tournament, which is again worth 150,000. And if conceivably they're going to do it every single year. So right, you guys bring up a great point. I think Seth, you did talk about like the sealed on what the word's going to be. But listen, it's getting and I'm going to try to be better. It's like thanks for bringing up that really good point. I'm trying to get better about giving context because our audience is growing, the boba community is growing, and we got to remember not everybody knows like what we know. All right, so we're getting near the end here. I know some folks have to hop off. We appreciate the audience who's been joining us. We're gonna just go around to the different breakers, and you guys definitely end with telling us what when next time you're going to be on air. But any other thoughts you have? So Kissa, we'll start with you.
I will be on Sunday, and it might be my last update break. So there might be some mourning happening. I'll probably be in all black because it's just too hard to find the product. So come join me for my last stream. We can cry together and then get ready for Griffey.
Thanks, Kissa, for joining us. Seth.
Yeah, so I'm thrown off by the other side of Mainly Breaks, Aaron there. Just saying she loves me. It's very sweet. Hello, Aaron. Anyway, so we're not going to break until the Saturday after Thanksgiving. I'm actually taking a couple much needed weeks off, and 3 o'clock Saturday, it's going to be a big one.
Wait, say that again. I was too busy going through your fan club, putting them up while you were talking. So are you saying that you're going to be breaking on Saturday, not Sunday?
Only, yeah. Here's why. Only because Erin's family's in town, so we're gonna have like her nieces and nephews. We're all just gonna rip it for fun. It's gonna be a lot of fun. So the Sunday, they're not gonna be here. That's why.
What time Saturday?
3 p.m.
Ooh, okay.
3 p.m. We can go head to head. We can raid each other, Jacob.
I was gonna say I might even push back for you, man. I might do it.
That's very kind.
And keep in mind now, Kissa, do you understand why? Oh, no, it's Simo who talks about it. At first, I thought it was Cursive. So, did you know Simo's trick for why he never starts on the hour? He doesn't start at 3 o'clock. Why he starts at 2:57 or 3:02?
Yeah.
Because if everybody starts at 3, what'll happen is if you're getting done, it shows everybody who starts at 3. And if you start at like an odd time, you're separated from everybody else. It gives you just a little bit of that. So a little breaker's trick from Simo.
Yeah.
I started mine at 11:11 for a little while just because I love the number, not for any trick. So
that's great.
We'll incorporate that, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, Seth, that sounds like a lot of fun. All right. So Jacob, and talking about the head-to-head, going with Seth is like, what about you? What do you? First of all, when are finals?
Finals.
Gorgeous, Jacob.
So pretty.
My heart's fluttering.
I know. I'm excited, man. I have not hit a pink hex yet, so we got 3 blast boxes, 2 jumbos, and 30 chasers for the hot dogs on Saturday.
Nice.
So I'm excited for that. But Saturday at, I believe, 5 Eastern. So we'll figure something out. 5 Eastern-ish adjacent. But yeah, I'm excited for that one. It's the second biggest break I'll ever have done, only being 2 less blast boxes than the last time I did a giant break. So I'm ready.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, that's exciting. Who wants him to start ripping it right now? Like, we got a lot of people watching.
I
us
want to
live.
start ripping them.
Yes.
Just one box.
Cursive.
So similar to what Carissa said, my last alpha update break actually just passed last Wednesday. I did a hobby, went pretty well. This coming Wednesday, I will be doing a single show. So if you are looking for some OG alpha or even some really big updates, we will have some pretty massive cards. If you don't know, and I've mentioned it a few times in my streams, a lot of the breakers are in each other's breaks, and we recycle plays. So again, this was a chaser that I won from Pulls and Pars. This will be in my. Yep,
Hold on, let me get you up there.
Is that lightning rod hex? Is that what
this will be in my single show. I know it's backwards, but
Army knife.
So hex mix art, yeah,
beautiful.
So this something like this is similar. This was a chaser, one from another one. This would probably be a chaser in one of my breaks, but in this case, we're doing a single show, so it will be sold as a single. Last time, I think every single one of my chasers was won in other breaker shows. So again, I think I mentioned it that sometimes we recycle each other's cards until they find their forever home. So
that's great.
That's kind of our goal, guys. If you guys see us in other shows, if you see me buying spots from Seth or Chris or even Jacob, we're just buying cards that hopefully we hit, but we're also supporting. And then at some point, it will get a forever home. And that's the goal there.
Yeah, isn't that amazing that you can find that forever home and it doesn't end up in the trash like some cardboard product out there, right? Is like you will find it. It's just getting the right eyeballs on there. That's a great way to put it. Yeah, there's we did a 2-hour set. Listening to you talk about it, I'm thinking about collecting. And what was fascinating is I'm excited for. We did a 2-hour interview with Brian Tinsman, the lead game designer for Wonders of the First. And it was interesting because he talked about collecting. And by the way, one of the best moments is I did a little interview with him about Bo Jackson. And we were talking about it. He actually took a pencil, put it above his head, and crushed it to replicate that. Like Brian Tinsman doing his best Bo Jackson impersonation was just amazing. But Brian talks about collecting. And it was fascinating because he said, you have all these people in the TCG space who just say they're players and not collectors. And he's like, but I consider collecting to be playing. He's like, because you're determining how much is this worth that you're trading? How much is it that they're worth? Where is the value going to go for each of them? How much is it going to take? What is this person doing over here? And I had never heard anybody say it before, and it wasn't a shtick. Like in Brian Tinsman's like mad genius mind, like he really now looks at collecting as it's a game. Sorry, you want to show us something, Cursive? Let's see. Cursive, you're on mute.
Oh, you're Mike's on.
So you flexed a little earlier. This is my flex right now, right? Is this a collector card or is this a player card? Where do you put this? Let me see if I can.
Oh, that's a player card right there.
Okay, so can you wait, hold on. Let me read it. So for the audience, this card copies the effect and hot dog cost of the last play you used. And of course, the hot dog cost is question mark because it copies the last one.
Right. So again, the flex that you did with the Hex CC, does this card eventually surpass that card based on not only playability, but it is a alpha bonus play? Oh, technically it's update. It's update bonus play 1. So it's technically an alpha card, right? It's not the first print. It's a second print. But I am curious with some of these playing cards, and we talked about Alpha Trilogy. Does this card, which is already above $1,000, does this get to 2,000? Does it get to 3,000? Is this the play that is a play that everyone's looking for at some point down the line?
What if I throw my CC in with these three?
I mean, I can get all the bonus plays from my deck, and I mean that's probably at least $5,000 worth of cards, right?
We gotta have flex session next time.
Oh,
I just gotta come.
It started last time.
Cards.
It started last time.
My only flex right now is the super that's not even mine. So,
Yeah, but by the way, the only one I have. Do you, Kissa? Can you say, because you said it on the whatnot, probably like whose home that's going to?
I hadn't seen his name before.
Okay.
I will tell you his name right now. He was a new buyer, and maybe you guys will be familiar with him. Some people in the stream were like, "Does this guy even know what he got?" Because I haven't seen his name. His name is Wags is God. Have you guys heard of him?
So I've seen him in my stream. That is probably the funnest thing from our side when we see someone who's a not familiar name get a huge card, because we know their hook, line, and sinker they're in.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Right? If your first card you hit is $1,000, $2,000 card, that obviously is going to be more than that. You're not going anywhere.
Mm-hmm. We created a new last night.
For sure. And Kissa, I'd say it's probably better for you that you didn't hit it for yourself, and just for you and your brand, like people are going to want to come back to you now because you hit good cards. I mean, yeah, maybe you could make a trade with it or sell it, whatever, but it's better for you to hit it for someone else.
Kissa being known as pulling the heat is massive.
Totally.
I'm so glad it wasn't Slash or Hodgeball or Bus. I think Bus has already been pulled, because then I would have been very upset. So I could celebrate with him and be excited that he got that card.
All right. Well, I was a little bit of a housekeeping. I was going to go back. I think C-Town said that I was conflating the numbers. The non-alpha tournament's going to be 150,000, and then alpha is going to remain at 100,000. So my apologies. I'll double check that. Make sure to put that in note. Thank you, C-Town, for correcting us. I want to thank all the breakers who are here today. I want to thank Cursive from Cursive Breaks, Anthony, who was here. I want to thank Jacob, who's always taking time away from his college classes to be here for us. Like, I can't tell you how much that means a lot. He's a college student, so he's busy with that, and he wakes up early for us, and he doesn't have kids or a job to get to early. So thank you for doing that. I want to thank Mainly Breaks, as Tex would call it, or some call it Mainly Breaks. That's Seth. And then, of course, I want to thank Kissa for joining us for the first time. Hopefully it won't be the last time. And you can catch us again every single Friday live at 9 a.m. Eastern. Appreciate everybody with their comments, all their questions, and look out, breakers. I'm about to put you back on the stage, so make sure you're respectable.